This is the J Pitt Show.
This listener question is, if you were a new agent, where would you spend any marketing dollars you have?
Okay. Where do you feel your dollars will be most immediately productive? That's where you need to spend your money. You need to think about your financial situation. I believe you phrased the question as a new agent.
New agent.
Okay, so relatively limited capital you would expect, because most of the time when people move into the real estate industry from another industry, or even if it's a first job out of college, let's say, because we do have some of those, either one of those scenarios, more than likely, you don't have a lot of startup capital. If you're a new agent out of college, well, you've never had a career, you've never earned much, you don't have money to invest, to put out into the marketplace before you bring in income. If you're transitioning from another career, chances are your expenses have grown to be appropriate with whatever that income was. And for whatever reason, you're making a move into a different industry. Again, you're not receiving income, though you probably have expenses.
Yep.
It's going to be 30, 60, 90 days at minimum before you start seeing any substantial income. And if you put money out, you're going the wrong direction. I can count maybe one story in my career where I could really point to somebody that started in residential real estate with a nest egg to really invest and build a healthy business from the start. So most people are not in that situation. So what is that answer? It depends on you. Are you married with kids and a mortgage and student loan debt and 2 car payments and a spouse that doesn't work? Or are you 25 splitting an apartment with a roommate and you went to school on scholarship, so you have no student loan debt, and you're driving an old beater? If you are in need of immediate capital, I would absolutely find the lowest price per lead Zillow zip code adjacent to a higher priced market. They're approximate to higher priced zip codes, higher priced leads. They have crossover appeal, and you drive your cost per lead down and you really work those leads to make them turn a return on that investment, and then reinvest that money. Because here's the thing, Ryan, there's a number of things you could spend your money on that would be effective if you could stay the course. And a little bit of money goes a long way on your sphere of influence.
So yeah.
But it takes a long time to materialize.
Yeah.
And you got to eat.
So I have 3 answers to this question, and 2 of them involve spending no money.
Okay.
One of them involves spending a little bit of money, and that one, I did this starting out. I don't do it anymore. I really need to. I don't know how the rules have changed on Facebook with doing it. I think you might have to have a certain amount of Facebook friends, or people that like your business page, however you want to do it. There were a lot less rules on it like 6.5 years ago when I did it and first started out. But I just ran ads to my friends on Facebook. I didn't do anybody outside of that. I just basically put myself on it. You get a lot more bang for your buck, and you're putting either your success or whatever ad you created
$5
in front of them. I mean, I bet I was getting it in front of people once a day, and they see it's an ad, but
yeah, no, I buy that.
that doesn't help the immediate capital problem.
But you're not doing $100 a day.
No, it was like 5 or 10 bucks.
It could,
a day.
Ryan. It could. I mean, guys, there's a lot of things you should be doing when you first start in a career in real estate. My answer was based upon the fact that I'm looking for what could generate revenue for you immediately. You know, you should write a letter to everyone you know.
Do you still require new agents on the team to do that?
Yeah, they write a letter. They follow up with a phone call after the letter is mailed, and then they're supposed to ask their top 5 to go to lunch or coffee. And there's a specific script, and we've talked about it. It's if I don't have the support of people like you, I'll never be successful, kind of like hat in hand, kind of humbling yourself kind of situation. That costs 50 stamps. You know what I mean? Like, you can afford 50 stamps. If you can't, then I'm sorry, you can't be in this business. You should be calling everybody you know. You should be going to every birthday party and every cookout. Everywhere you can get seen by people that like you, you should be there. You should be posting your successes on social media. You should be offering free services to individuals like, hey, I'm practicing my CMAs. Who wants some free research on their property value? Stuff like that. You know, hey, I'm putting together a list of contractors. Does anybody know anybody that I should add? Just engaging and stirring the pot, becoming the connector inside your network is a requisite. All those things can be done without any money. If you have money to spend, you could absolutely convert 1 in 10 leads. And if you're spending $1,000 at $100 a lead, and you convert one transaction, okay, at the market median, let's call it 300,000. At 3%, that generates $9,000 in revenue. Okay, if you're on a 95-5 split, like a lot of people here are at the brokerage, well, you do the math. 95% of 900, and you spend 95% of 9,000 is your revenue, and your expense was $1,000. If you convert 10%, and if you work the leads the right way, that's what you'll get. A few of those, and then now you can afford to do a lot more things. Meanwhile, you're working your sphere of influence with ferocity.
Absolutely. I think the easiest answer to this question is if you're a new agent, don't have a ton of capital for marketing.
Join a team.
Join a team.
Join a team,
But
and they'll
make
give you
sure
leads.
that team can provide leads.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise,
What are you trading?
their knowledge.
You're getting knowledge, but is it worth 50% of your revenue that you generate? I mean, you're gonna do the work. You know, now if you join a team like ours, we're gonna provide you accountability, we're gonna provide you goal setting, we're gonna provide you leads, we're gonna show you how to sell, then we're gonna give you an opportunity to do it. And yeah, you're gonna trade 50% of your revenue, but you didn't spend anything for it. You got no expenses.
My big focus for 2025, I think I've mentioned it on here, and I have a few videos out, but YouTube. I really think it's an untapped market still. And it doesn't have to be a large channel. It just has to be the right channel.
I'll give you somebody to study. Granted, you're going to understand immediately when I tell you where this person is. It's a much different market than here. But you can say that about any marketing endeavor. Oh, well, that won't work here. It will work here. But there's a guy named Ken Pozek, Pozek, out of Orlando, Florida. Now, there's a lot to glom onto in Orlando. I mean, imagine just, your network of people already, right? With the young children and Disney and all the things that are there with the theme parks and all the attractions. So he does all that. Some of the ideas you shared with me about E-Town, I mean, on a much more smaller level, obviously, I mean, you don't have Disney World in E-Town, but you could do some of that. And this guy is the digital mayor of Orlando. He has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He has corporate partnerships with Disney. Like, you just don't know where this stuff's going to go when you grab this sort of following. But his video ideas are some that we have modeled after at times. Production quality is great. I think he's a prime example of how YouTube can absolutely become a marketing juggernaut in residential real estate.
And I think for those agents listening to this that aren't in a place like Orlando, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. There's a couple I know that have been doing one video a week for 3 years. They have a few thousand subscribers, 1,000, 2,000 views a video, which, I mean, it's really good for the content they're making in that area. And they told me they're getting 1.5 leads a day. That's what they're averaging this year.
So
you don't have to be anywhere like Orlando to make it happen.
No,
I think
you
it's
don't.
just
Well,
being
there's another
consistent.
agent. There's another agent in Evansville that does a very, very good job of it. It was so successful in Evansville, she started looking at adjacent markets and wanting to do the same thing and then refer the business out
with YouTube.
with YouTube. You know, it's a lot of market update videos, a lot of statistical stuff. It's a lot of, local interest content that she could kind of pull off from afar. Again, yeah, generates a ton of leads. I think she gets the majority of her business, and it's a top selling agent in Evansville.